And I just want to ask the listening audience real quick. Family, where do we go on Memorial Day? Where do we go on Memorial Day? Brother, don't answer it. Let me see. Can I throw in some Jeopardy music? But the family's probably going to answer before I can even press play. Let me see. Okay, so just as I predicted, before we could even get to the 30-second mark, the family already knew. On Memorial Day, we go to the cemetery. This is no different than in the movie Coco. This is no different than Cinco de Mayo. So why do we go to the cemetery? To venerate our loved ones who have transitioned to the spirit realm. So when we go to the graveyard, we're not doing no weird shit. We're cleaning off the headstones. We're lighting candles. We're placing down flowers to venerate our ancestors. Now, this is one thing I want to ask the family. Another name for a graveyard is for a cemetery is a graveyard. Well, another name for a graveyard is necropolis. Damn, he's gone. Fuck, I'm sorry for even saying that. I wanted him to hear me say this. Another name for a graveyard is necropolis. If you didn't know that, press 444. Necro means dead. Opolis means city. Necropolis is the city of the dead. That's why and you go to the, here we go. He's back, family. He's back from the dead.
Hey, look, I'm gonna just say this. I apologize, but I appreciate y'all still here.
Yeah, absolutely. So another name for a graveyard or a cemetery is a necropolis, the city of the dead. Necro is dead, opolis. And we go to the city of the dead. This Halloween, we are not supposed to be going knocking on people's doors trick-or-treating. This Halloween, we are supposed to be going to that graveyard at nighttime, lighting candles for our loved ones who have transitioned, because October 31st is Halloween. Not hollow as in empty, hallow. Holy Eve. This Halloween is the eve of the holiest day on the Gregorian calendar. And the official day is November 1st. Scorpio season is in the building. Now, I'm sorry, my blood pressure. But yeah, when you're dealing with November 1st is All Saints Day, and November 2nd is All Souls Day. This is dealing with the veneration of the loved ones. And well, I've said a lot. Let me pass the mic. What say ye, brother?
Let me tag on to that. What a lot of people forgot is when we dressed up as these ghouls and these creatures, you were representing your ancestors.
Come on.
And a lot of people forgot about that. That's what a lot of that came from, representing the ancestors. No different when the Moors got demonized and became gargoyles. That's why they had Keith David and them voicing of the TV show Gargoyles. It's representing the ancestors. A lot of that stuff that they called demonic. They took it away from us. Remember this now. Salem, witch trials, Jerusalem. The Jews, the real Jews fled from Europe, from Spain. Y'all gotta remember, people were getting persecuted. You could say you're the chosen person. You better not say that shit, man. You know that was meaning. That means you came from something big, like the Papal Bull. If everybody go back and read the Papal Bull of 1452, Saracens and pagans were the only ones that was supposed to go into slavery. The difference was it was 1452. She wasn't taking that shit serious, but we was talking about what they were talking about. But if you pay close attention, we all say what brainwashed us? Christianity. A lot, the two of the main groups we say we came from, they've been pushing their efforts. Hebrews been pushing what they said. Those that cling to Islam push what they say. If you all look at it, they took away that ancestral magic and labeled us and turned it into a demonizing thing. Negro. That's why you try to say black is death. If y'all go look into the occult right now, Yes, black means death, but guess what third come behind it? Power, stealth. It's more to it than that. They blew it out. They blot out. You're not gonna find it in the light. So when you bring to the light side, you might hear black as a negative thing. Well, the reason why, you wouldn't even be saying that if it wasn't for the Canaanites and the Moabites. They said black and white don't exist because of magic, not because of no skin or anything. They messed it up. The Judo-Christians came in with all that and start making this morality thing. This black or this white. This means death, this means pure. None of that shit exists. It was later day. It was all just there to get you to conform to what the oppression. Look, they gotta make you submit. If they couldn't make you submit, we wouldn't even be where we are now. We wouldn't be talking about, you wouldn't be trying to free the people you say that's tied into this and that ain't right. You got to use common sense. Don't never let them take your common sense away. You know war. I say this before, we done lost so many times to know how to win. It's just if you want to put the effort in or not, if you want to do the work or not. It's all about it. You got to just start reading more. Don't stop saying, oh, that's white people stuff right there. Man, no, it's not. A lot of this stuff came from us. The Greeks called us Necros because we could talk to our ancestors. It was a spiritual thing. They didn't understand it. Oh, you said they came from caves. So they're not gonna understand it if you sitting here, we doing all this with our ancestors. What's another word? Ancestral magic, if I'm correct. Necromancy and all this. They made it look more spooky. And not just them. People like us.
Brother, could I go into that necromancy, talking to the ancestors, communicating with the dead, venerating the family members who have transitioned to the spiritual realm? So now, one of the biggest necropolis, the city of the dead, this is in Egypt. Technically, it's in Egypt. Technically, one of the biggest cities is called Memphis. That was the biggest necropolis over in Egypt. Memphis. That's where we buried the kings. Somebody tell me right now in America, where did Martin Luther King die at? Hold on. Let me put the music on. All right. The family's answering too quickly. Martin Luther King died in Memphis because this is biggest necropolis over in Egypt was in Memphis. Now, if you go to Memphis, Tennessee, right now, there is a huge pyramid that was built by the Bass Pro Shop. When I drove through Memphis, I saw a big ass, I was like, what the hell is this big pyramid doing here? And it was the most European store in America, Bass Pro Shop. Why the hell does Bass Pro Shop got a pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee right now? But even if you go to Bobby Hemmett told you the ancestors were, this is Africa. This is Egypt over here. The Nile is Memphis. I'm sorry, excuse me. The Nile is the Mississippi River. Y'all trying to talk about Africa? No disrespect to Africa, but we banging over here on that same energy. What are y'all talking about? But yeah, I yield the floor.
Hold on. Let me tie in that. If y'all notice this, Batman, Morbius are all forms of the Camazotz. Camazotz ain't no damn Africa. That's in South America. So if you do the math on that, you ain't got to look over though when it comes to the bad guy of the underworld. Because we talk about the underworld and necropolis too. That's also considered the dead. Set was a friend to the dead. And you know what they say in the Grand Caves, you got the Tower Set, you got the Temple of Aset. You don't really have to go there when it was already set over here. Helena H.P. Blavatsky said herself that the children of Levi, she wasn't talking about over there in the Middle East or whatever you want to call it. She was talking about right here in South America, the tribe of Quetzalcoatl. Now, that's some real stuff right there, the tribe of Leviathan. So that's another thing a lot of people got to think about. Sometimes you got to always look over there. Another word we used over here, the Wetiko, if we was talking werewolves, skinwalkers. You had the Native American tribes that had that, skinwalkers, that had the beliefs in that. Cthulhu or Cthon over here. And if y'all go look at Marvel Comics, you'll check out the first vampire called Varney. He was over here. He had people worshiping him over here under the name Croatone, and I don't know how to pronounce the other name, but they was giving the hidden hints of your story. You got to go back and collect them. You got to go put two and two together. You know, so when we talk about melanated vampirism and that too, get the crosses and stuff, because really the crosses is really disrespectful. Because you know what the Moriscos and the Pope Nicholas V, and you know what Christianity did to our people. Look at that that's one of the weaknesses to the vampires. They were saying some of these Egyptian Moors were accused as vampires. I had to pull back up where I actually got that from, but they were saying that. If you go look at Bobby Hemmitt's tapes, Vampire Heavens, he spoke on that too. You had some talk about and you'll hear this story. Eddie Murphy, Vampire Brooklyn, said it. The races of the vampire was driven from Egypt. The only groups that was driven from Egypt were the Mari, some of the Canaanites too were driven. Because what they don't tell you is the Canaanites were slaves to the Egyptians too. And I really don't want to say just two like the Hebrews were too, but I'm saying that's the story that our Canaanites were still slaves to the Egyptians. Remember, y'all, they said it. Cursed be Canaan, shall he must be a servant amongst his brothers. The difference is Cush and Phut, they didn't refuse to slay the people of Canaan, but Mizraim did. So it's how to put two and two together with that. It's always been black versus black. Some of us say the X-Men represent us. Well, you got Professor X versus Magneto. That's our story. So where do
us versus us?
That's what I'm saying. So where do white people come in at really? I'm a little confused. Y'all keep saying they final destination, but you showing proof. But all the facts we talking about, they coming from caves. They not in the Akashic records. Then what you're really saying is they just a figure of your imagination. Which one is it?
Come on.
So you know what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Because all the stories I'm finding, it's black versus black. It was there from the beginning. This ain't got even I forgot who it was. He was on your show too, and he was about to tell us about how Moses went up there and talked to Enlil. Keyword Enlil. Why is Moses talking to Enlil, and Moses' ancestor Noah got saved by Enki? If you read it from the Sumerian text point of view, make it make sense. You sold out.
Come on, brother. Come on back in. There we go.
You know.
Okay. Well, brother, we got less than 6 minutes before we close.
We're talking about this Negro and Negro. Y'all, it's a good thing. It's not a negative thing. It's magic.
Wait, brother.
It's part of raising the dead. They just made it look spooky. Some of that come from Ishtar. She was doing necromancy.
Come on. Brother, can you hear me?
I know who Ishtar related to Enki. Ishtar is also Esther from the show The Originals, or The Vampire Diaries. The one that created the vampires, the mother of the vampires. So a lot of that stuff ties in together. Because if you look at the story, Esther had a daughter named Freya. Well, Freya gets sacrificed. Just for all that to go down. Just to keep having children. So,
brother, can you hear me?
A lot of that stuff, yeah, it's still us. It's not spooky. People just want to make it spooky so they can keep control over you. It's a story. So we're going to talk about being melanin. Let's look at it like this. You got the story of the light side of the brothers and sisters. You got the story of the dark side of the brothers and sisters. I say this personally. It takes darkness of truth to end false light. So let's keep a balance instead of trying to have one ride over the other. Because if you keep doing it, then you're still religious.